I'm Ian Mason. I'm a partner at Gowling WLG, international law firm, and I head up our financial services regulatory team. I'm also a former regulator, having spent 6 years at the FSA, the previous UK regulator, now the FCA, and I served as a head of department in the enforcement division with responsibility for investigating financial crime cases. Today, I'm briefly going to look at what impact the coronavirus 19 epidemic has had in the UK and how the FCA has responded, with a particular focus on conduct risk and financial crime. And I'm also going to make some predictions for next year. Times of crisis such as wartime and economic depressions create increased opportunities for illicit activities such as black market goods and services. And the coronavirus pandemic is no different. It's been reported that scams, both face-to-face and online, cyber fraud and similar activities are on the increase, with criminals really taking advantage of a captive audience working from home. The coronavirus emergency has created fertile conditions for market abuse. The FCA's announcement earlier this year of 2 months temporary relief for listed companies to complete their audited financial statements may have resulted in companies sitting on potentially inside information, which they would otherwise have disclosed sooner. And with most office-based people working from home, normal controls around the protection of inside information will also be weaker. There's a higher risk that confidential documents are all left lying around the home and not disposed of securely. Some financial institutions prohibit the printing of work-related documents at home. And in addition, the current volatility of financial markets makes suspicious patterns of trading or transactions harder to spot. It's not clear what is normal in the current markets, and firms will need to consider what the new normal is in relation to parameters previously set for price changes or profits generated when they're reviewing their trading patterns. Although the UK regulators have recognised that the pandemic will cause some practical and operational difficulties for banks and other financial firms, there hasn't been significant relaxation or amnesty from the rules, and the FCA, the Bank of England and the Treasury have all made clear their expectations for financial services firms have effective contingency plans in place to enable them to continue operating effectively while still meeting their regulatory obligations. COVID-19 has created a number of conduct risks. It could impact on the health of senior management teams and at board level. So financial services firms should ensure they have a robust crisis management policy in place and identify all personnel who carry out key governance functions to ensure continuity of day-to-day decision-making. And they should also consider the possibility of senior managers being unable to carry out their roles due to illness and temporary arrangements which may be required. Cyber resilience is another key consideration. So firms should ensure that depleted staff numbers caused by furloughing or redundancy do not impact on their cyber resilience and ability to withstand malicious attacks. The FCA has warned that criminals have been taking advantage of the pandemic to carry out fraud and exploitation scams through a variety of methods, including cyber-enabled fraud. And when the current crisis is over, the FCA will look back at any suspicious trading patterns over this period, to the extent it's not doing so now, and will still be receiving real-time information. There isn't a need to commence an immediate enforcement investigation. It can always be started later. So those seeking to launder criminal proceeds or finance tourism will exploit any weaknesses in firm systems. And firms should ensure they're taking all reasonable steps to protect their customers and their staff from these threats. Now, our impression for having spoken to our clients is that most financial services firms have emerged from the firefighting early stages of COVID-19. And many feel they've coped well, considering all the challenges. And many are now planning for the post-COVID-19 situation, the new normal, although we do seem to be some way from that at the moment. So looking into my crystal ball, what will be the major challenges for the financial services sector in 2021? it won't be the same post-COVID-19. There will be a mixture of old and new issues to deal with. And these include Brexit. This one won't go away. So by 2021, if not earlier, we would hope, we should know what the UK-EU regulatory arrangements will be. And in fact, they will be in operation in 2021. Firms will have contingency plans in place for a number of scenarios. It's a case of which plan they need to trigger and implement. Secondly, consolidation and mergers. There will be winners and losers from COVID-19, and some firms will have been better placed than others to capitalise on the opportunities, and this may lead to mergers and consolidation. Some fund management and broking firms have been under pressure. Some firms which already had poor loan portfolios and unviable business models pre-COVID-19 will have deteriorated during the crisis. In terms of the post-COVID-19 review, firms' systems and controls will inevitably have been stretched during the crisis. Some things may not have gone quite as well as they should have done, albeit unintentionally. So where firms have noted increased risks to their businesses over the COVID-19 period, there should be a clear audit trail of how they've mitigated those risks. For example, in the FCA's periodical Market Watch 19, the FCA highlighted that personal accounting by employees at firms is a risk area, because working from home can lead to weaker controls and create fertile conditions for market abuse and conflicts of interest. The FCA will no doubt be reviewing and picking up on any thematic weaknesses which occurred over the period. And finally, I wanted to mention climate change. The financial sector needs to adapt to manage the physical and transition risks that climate change poses. Climate change has moved high up the agenda of regulators, and so it needs to be high up on firms' agenda as well. So that's an overview from me. I look forward to seeing you or meeting you virtually at the Financial Crime Conference. Goodbye.